Right, OK, we're actually going to start with some quotes here from Mesut Ozil. Remember, he's got a year left in his contract. This is the last season on his contract at Arsenal. And he's done a statement on Facebook. I've got to say, it's a very long statement, all right? So we're going to try and pick out the best bits here. But it is long, isn't it, David?
Yeah, it's very long.
He starts by saying how he's now with the German national team. And he says, during the last couple of days, my German teammates have been asking me about how everything is at Arsenal at the moment, which is an interesting way to start it. But he says this is why they're asking. They claim to have read about the current crisis through the media, as pundits and former players are commenting on a daily basis. They say that this could be the worst team in years, even decades. That's how Mesut Ozil starts, by saying that on Germany duty, all of his teammates are talking about a crisis at Arsenal.
Yeah, and he goes on to talk about the fact that it's his anniversary, his 4-year anniversary, and he says, although I initially struggled when coming to the Premier League, I accepted the challenge. I started as a left winger at the beginning, and in all honesty, I'm not a great admirer of that position for myself. I'm better as a number 10. When playing in the centre, I can control the game and generate chances. The Premier League is also physically much more demanding than La Liga or the Bundesliga. He goes on to talk about the winter break in some of those leagues as well. And it's a long, tough, exhausting season. Yeah,
just stick with us for a minute, because there is some really good stuff in this, OK? So I'm going to read out a couple more of these paragraphs. He says, personally, I've had to accept a lot of criticism during my time in London. And he quotes here, too expensive, too greedy, bad body language and lacking fight. They're all he's put in there in quotation marks. This is what people have said about me. Some of these comments are made by those who do not know me. Some are made by former players, both successful and unsuccessful during their time here at the club. So he's talking about criticism from former Arsenal players here. Although criticism is something that all football players have to deal with, I nevertheless expected legends to behave like legends. So who he's talking about doesn't name them. My advice to these former Gunners, stop talking and start supporting. That's strong defence of the criticism to him. I'll just read you out the final paragraph here. Even though I personally do not know how my future will continue after this year, I look forward to my 5th season with Arsenal. That is a key point, by the way, because he's then kind of questioning his future. Like I say, he's out of contract at the end of the season, so he doesn't know what his future is. This is because Arsenal is a great club with great people and great traditions. I'm glad to be able to wear your shirt, Gooners. I've had so many great moments in the last 4 years. I really appreciate what this club means to the people of London, the UK, and all over the world. So Mesut Ozil there, first of all, celebrating 4 seasons at the club, questions the tactics about where he's played in the team, then defends the criticism levelled against him by former Arsenal players, Arsenal legends, as he has said, and then he goes on to question his future, saying he doesn't know what will happen at the end of this season. Well, we're actually... Jack Collison, you can see, is in the studio to talk about Wales. And, Jack, we're actually going to talk about Wales in a moment, because I can just tell you it's 0-0. I just want to ask you about those quotes from Mesut Ozil. I mean, when I ask you what you think about them, can you tell me what you'd think about them as a teammate and why you think he'd need to do it? Because, I mean, look at the length.
It's incredible, isn't it?
You can't see it. The text's tiny, but it's long.
Interesting timing, isn't it? It's interesting timing. Obviously, coming off the back of that defeat the other week, he's probably away with his international mates, and I think it's just built up out of frustration. He's been under the spotlight a fair bit, probably over the last 5 or 6 months. He's played some fantastic games, put in some great performances, scored some wonderful goals, but there's always been that little bit, it doesn't work hard enough for the team. He's said about his body language. There's always been that little bit creeping in, and obviously when the team is struggling, he's going to be under the spotlight even more. And for me, it's a bit of a strange one, strange timing, and I'm not too sure why he's come out and said it.
Yeah, do you think, how will this kind of go down with the fans as well? Because some of those fans would share the opinion, the things he says there about the bad body language and perhaps not tracking back and things like that. Because it's strong stuff, but they'll say, well, we don't really care what you say, it's how you play.
Exactly, that's the main thing. From this, I think a lot of fans will probably appreciate the fact that he's come out, he's addressed these issues, he showed a bit of solidarity with his teammates, saying, right, we're in it together, don't worry about what people are saying. But now he's got to go and perform. He's got to do it week in, week out. He's got to be consistent, and he's really got to wear that shirt and perform really well. Oh.
Sorry, he wants to watch
it's one hell of a game going on over here, buddy.
Austria on the attack, so it's hard for Jack to give a proper answer there. But I've got another one on this one. He's away with the international an international team, Germany, and his teammates are asking him about things at Arsenal. Does that go on? I mean, when you've been away with Wales and things aren't going so well, when you're at West Ham, are people questioning it?
Yeah, 100%. It's you get
it's
a lot
normal then, really.
Oh, really normal.
You wouldn't normally put out a statement about it.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't put out a statement about it. You get so much time together as a group, whether it's over lunch, over dinner, throughout training, and obviously you want to know what's going on at other clubs. You want to know about players, managers, what your training's like. So I'm sure these players are talking all the time, but as you said, to come out and talk about it and to put it like that is a little bit strange for me.
Yeah, especially around the time of the transfer window as well, all the moves that are happening, players talk. You think someone like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has gone from Arsenal to Liverpool. There'll be the likes of Jordan Henderson in the England squad. You know, in previous games, you know, come play for us and all that go on.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, sometimes a little bit of banter will be thrown about, especially when you're playing against each other and things like that. And obviously, if your friend's out of contract or whatever, it's a great opportunity to try and get in their ear and get them down to your club.
And Jack, I better just ask you about Wales v Austria, because that's why you're here. Almost halfway through the first half. What's the latest?
0-0.